Thank you. This is Lyra at the back who's about to put the lights on. And before we go underway, can we have one final Yancat test, please?
About to get spooked.
I know we can. Oh, I know we can.
Yancat is in dinner.
Excellent, thank you, Lyra. That's perfect. Hi everyone, I'm JM. Those of you who have been here before, thank you for coming again. This is my fourth of these shows. I'm a furry who lives in London. I'm from Australia. Obviously you can't tell because my accent has completely disappeared and I've naturalised. And I'm a qualified hypnotherapist. This is the fourth time on the show at Confuzzled. It is always good fun. Hopefully that's why some of you are back. When you do hypnotherapy training, I was talking to someone earlier at the con, it's a little bit like being a carny. There's no sort of formal qualification. You know, you can't go to university. So basically the schools that do it, it's all sort of enterprising hypnotherapists who decide that the way to make money is to sort of pass on the skills. And so you get given advice, some of which is very good and very useful, and some of which is perhaps a little bit dubious. The most obvious one is if you're a practicing hypnotherapist, you get a lot of people coming in and ask for what they call past life regression, which means you hypnotise someone and you get them to experience past lives. Now this is nonsense, but they can't say it's nonsense because it's where the money comes from. One of the other bits of advice that they get, and I was thinking about this as well, and this is in the context of the show, is they tell you that basically, every hypnotherapist has their own style. So that, you know, like you can take into account whether or not, for example, you have an Australian accent. But it's a conversation, you build up a relationship. So here, between you and I, between me and you, we will be building up a little relationship as we go through and do some pretty cool furry things. And they tell you that the styles can be generally described as either paternal or maternal. And so paternal is kind of the authoritarian hypnotherapist, the one who stands over you and puts the watch in your eyes and, you know, tells you that you're going to sleep right now. You know the type, you know, many of you would have seen it starring on furry art on the internet. The other type is maternal, and that's more like, you know, we're in this together, and it's characterised by things like, you know, you'll often like put a hand on someone's shoulder or a hand on someone's back, and you'll be sort of warm and protective. In hindsight, those terms are pretty sexist, because the idea that a father is like a scary authoritarian figure and the mother is kind of a powerless hug machine is, it's at least it's insulting to both sexes, you know, equally. But anyways, when I've done this show in the past, I've taken more of that sort of paternal style, and I do that because I've traditionally done this show by essentially doing a trick in the style of, you know, sort of a Darren Brown style thing. I'm not doing that this time because I never, even though it worked quite fine and, you know, we did some interesting things, I was never quite comfortable with it. I couldn't ever quite put my finger on why I wasn't comfortable with it. And I think it's because this is a furry environment. This is very much a sort of a community and communal, and it's like a flat structure. There are no head furries. We're entirely self-organising. You know, people dedicate huge amounts of time to the community. So Maya there, for example, who's a sound and lighting professional, dedicating her time to, you know, help put on shows like this. And of course, what's going on at Confuzzled, but, you know, every single one of you contributes, I'm sure, in some way, be that art, be that writing, by getting commissions, by creating characters, by wearing fursuits, by having costumes. And it's that incredible sort of collective experience that makes up what furry is. And so today what I want to do is something that celebrates the spirit of that. I think some of you who are interested in hypnosis will have probably been online and downloaded little hypno, you know, MP3s and sort of given it a go. In general, they're not very effective. And the reason is that by the nature, sort of the impersonal nature of downloading the file, that's the paternal style, that's the hypnotherapist telling you what to do. But the sort of stuff that people are interested in, the stuff that I'm interested in, and I think the stuff that most furries are interested in, is more of that communal stuff. So if you're looking to explore hypnosis, but you're doing that in that sort of social sense, in that introspective sense, If you're looking to quit smoking or lose weight, then those MP3 files are great. You can go and buy a book, it'll come to the table, and they do a fantastic job. But if you're looking to sort of do social things, I know this is an 18 and over con, so I'm avoiding saying explicitly sex, but that is something that, a lot of people are interested in. There's a huge traffic in those sorts of things. When people ask me about hypnosis and they ask about those MP3 files that they download, inevitably something social comes up. It's often sex, it's not always, of course, because people have different relationships with themselves and different things they're interested in trying out. But they tend not to be effective because you're not in a situation where you can build a communal environment. And what we have here at Furry is the ultimate communal environment, at least in my experience. So that's what I want to take advantage of. And I want to start with imagination, which is the great thing that furries do. We are a creative group. We do contribute to the community. And that imagination is not just us. For many furries, sort of imagining ourselves as a like an animal person, with fur, or like the fursuiters who are able to create a version of that. But often that involves, sort of putting ourselves in different bodies and different worlds. Of course, not everyone experiences furry in the same way. But a big part of that imagination is that we're able to see ourselves in an imaginary world and in an imaginary sense. And that is the cool stuff that I really want to explore. And before I get into the actual hypnosis side of things, I just want to give just some really simple examples. If you just place your hands down on your knees, and if you just take a moment and just focus on your right hand, just imagine it just being a little bit warmer, just a little bit warmer, your right hand being a little bit warmer, and your left hand being a little bit cooler. And what you'll start to notice is this is a sensation which you'll start to feel. This isn't an imagination which you can see, this is something where you can sense a slight difference between the two. And most of you will have felt something, and with a little bit more time, I'm sure that all of us will do so. But something simple like that, which is just a few seconds, is something where we can really imagine something which is different, because imagination goes beyond being able to imagine pictures and daydreaming. It goes into all of the sensations. So in this case, the sensation of touch, but of course smell. We know how smells can sort of transport us to different times and different places. And in fact, I can give you a better demonstration. Can I ask one of the fursuiters to come up, please? Yeah. Geez, there's a fairly large step, so be careful. Yeah. Okay, so if you can just stand here for a minute, just place the light. Okay, so what I want you to do is I just want you to imagine now. In fact, I'll just stand in the light a little bit more so you can see me. So what I want you to imagine, I'm going to now touch the furry arm here. I just want you to imagine what this feels like. I want you to notice how when you imagine this, you can actually feel a part of the sensation of what it's like. You know that it's going to be soft and it's warm, you've got the texture of some very plush fur, I must say. It's all very impressive. I mean, take that a step further. Do you mind giving me a hug? Is that okay? And just imagine that. And you'll know now, thank you. You'll know now that this is more than just an imagination of touch. There's an emotion as well. Emotion is something that we can imagine and we can investigate, and that's something that is a big part of furry, and it's something that I do want to get into. So if you could, I'll help you back down to your chair. Thank you for that. Cheers. So that's the direction that I want to go. Emotion is a big part of the furry experience when we imagine ourselves as furries, or whatever that is for you. For those of you who don't imagine yourself sort of specifically as a furry, then feel free to sort of interpret that in whatever way works for you. One of the things being a hypnotherapist is you use sort of neutral language and allows people to use their imaginations and go in whatever direction works for them. And so I want you to take advantage of your imaginations. And I want you to think about now that fantastical fantasy world that you build up, that personal one, that one that you kind of experience in your own head when you're daydreaming or imagining furry, or the sort of stuff that you see in art that captures your imagination, and the stuff that has those sort of positive emotions that I associate with furry, and I think most people do. you know, the happiness and the joy that comes along with that. And I just want you to sort of create that picture in your mind and imagine what that version of the furry world, or your own world, your own private world, and just create that in your own head. And this is something which we all have, and we all do. I just realised I'm probably covered in orange, but that seems to be okay. It's something that we all have and we all do. But it's also something we keep private. You know, it's a bit like talking about your dreams, like, you know, actual dreams at night time. It's very vivid and very worthwhile from a personal perspective, but it doesn't always make a particularly interesting conversation. And we do live in a world where sort of society pushes in towards the mainstream direction. You know, if our world almost inevitably contains elements which are a little bit outside of that societal mainstream, excuse me, then, you know, we learn not to talk about it. We learn to keep it private and keep it in our own heads. And what we're going to do here is we are going to keep it private. We are going to keep it in our own heads. But with my help, we're going to help make that as real as possible, and not just the sights and the sounds, but the feelings and the emotions that come along with them. So what we're going to do now is go through a simple little relaxation technique. I've asked Leo at the door at this stage to not let latecomers in. We're in a terrific room here. We're very well insulated, so there's not much in the way of sounds in the background. But if you listen carefully, you'll hear, I think there's some fans back there stopping the sound desk from exploding. And not much else. You'll probably hear me breathing. Obviously, you hear me talking. You know, you'll be reminded from time to time, as you've got used to my voice, that Australian accent is still there. So you're being very polite by still listening. If you just take a moment, just listen to the ambient noise. And what we've got here is we've got a very safe place, and inside each of our own heads we've got a very private place as well. So this is a place where my voice can go with you, and you can feel free to explore that world that lives in your own head as much as you like. And we'll start with a little bit of relaxation. And what I'd like you to do is just find a neutral sitting position. And I'd like you, if it's okay, to have your feet separate and not touching, and your hands on your knees. And the reason for this is that you'll know that when you sleep and when you daydream, you sort of lose a little sense of your place in space. And it's the sense of perception, which is sort of generally regarded as being a sixth sense. And by touching hands and touching feet, it just tends to draw us out of that relaxation a little bit. But I want you to be as comfortable as you feel. So we'll take these as suggestions. And what you can do with your hands is just make a fist, if you can. Just flex them. And then when you put them down, what you'll notice is that those muscles that you've just used will be nice and relaxed now. And you'll be able to feel them relaxing. And what you'll also notice is that your hands will stay there unless you decide to re-tense those muscles. So those hands will stay there, perfectly relaxed in that position, unless you choose. And you'll notice, and I do want you to try this out as well, to just try and pick them up, and notice that you only can pick them up by re-tensing those muscles that you've just tensed. And this is what I mean by relaxation, is that we can relax our muscles and allow us to be in a nice, comfortable, neutral position. Now, as we go through this process, comfort is important. If anyone prefers to lie down, you're welcome to. It is just carpet, we haven't got anything for it, but sometimes people do, and that's totally okay. And again, just find a nice neutral position. And if you need to, I don't know, cough or scratch or stretch or whatever it happens to be, actually now's a good time to put your phones into airplane mode, or at least onto vibrate. If you leave them on vibrate, actually it's not the worst thing, because you'll be able to feel it. And that will remind you as to how safe and quiet this place that we find ourselves in is. Yeah. And Mike, can we just turn the stage lights just down sort of halfway, and we'll go the rest of the way in a moment. Thank you. So what I'd like you to do now is just concentrate on the muscles around your eyes. I'd just like to close your eyes, and I'd like you to concentrate on just relaxing all of those small muscles around your eyes. Concentrate on relaxing those muscles. And I just want you to notice how, as long as you leave those muscles relaxed, perfectly relaxed, your eyes will stay closed. You, of course, can open your eyes if you wish at any stage, but you can leave those muscles relaxed and just enjoy that feeling of relaxation. Just take a moment to enjoy that, because it is a very pleasant feeling. Okay. I'd just like you to notice the relaxed nature of your hands as well, that you've allowed to relax with that previous little exercise. Now back to your eyes, and I'd just like you to let that grow over your forehead. Just allow that feeling of relaxation to come over the top of your head and down the back of your skull. That's good. And just allow that feeling to grow slowly down the back of your neck. Feel how nice it is to let the muscles of your neck relax. Your jaw. Feel how nice it is to let the muscles of your jaw relax. Feel how loose and comfortable that neutral position is. That's good. And now down further. Allow your shoulders to relax. That's good. You just take a moment now to just listen to the ambient sounds around you. You can hear the dozens of cooling fans in the background. You'll be able to hear the stage underneath my feet squeak a little bit every now and then. And you can just let those sounds remind you as to how safe and comfortable this is as you allow that feeling of relaxation to spread further. And now down your arms. All the way down the big muscles in the upper part of your arms. And down the smaller muscles in the lower part of your arms. All the way down to your fingers. That's good. You can allow it to spread now down your chest, down your back. Just allow your body to relax. Further down. That's good. That's good. And now further down through your hip, through the big muscles of your legs. Just allow that feeling of relaxation to just spread slowly. Just that nice, warm, neutral feeling to spread down over your knees, down the small part of your legs. And if you're going a little faster or a little slower than I'm talking, then you don't need to worry about it, because your body knows how to relax. And you can just allow that feeling to spread its own rate all the way down into your feet, into your toes. And you can just enjoy that feeling. Nice, comfortable feeling. Feel how nice it is to allow yourself to relax. That's good. And now, I'd like you to engage your imagination in this nice, relaxed state. I'd like you to engage your imagination. Now just imagine yourself for the moment. I'd like you to follow my instructions. Just to imagine a cloud, a fluffy cloud, you can relax on, supporting you, surrounding you, feeling warm, perfectly comfortable. That's good. While you enjoy that feeling of relaxation, in a moment, I'm going to ask you, and I'd like you to only do this when I ask you, to open your eyes and then close them again. And when you do this, you'll notice how when you open your eyes, you continue to stay perfectly relaxed, perfectly neutral. And when you close your eyes, you find yourself relaxing further, dropping deeper down, more comfortable. So now, I'd like you to open your eyes and close your eyes. That's good. Just feel that comfort. Feel that relaxation spread. Feel how nice it is to feel relaxed. That's good. And just for a moment, I'd like you to pay attention to your breathing. And notice how each time you breathe out, you can relax just a little more. So breathe out, body can relax just a little more. Each breath, making you feel more relaxed and more comfortable. I want you to notice how your body knows how to breathe all by itself. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to think about it, because your body knows how to relax. And you can just pay attention to your breathing and notice how each time you breathe out, you feel more relaxed and more comfortable. That's good. As you allow your body to relax and enjoy this feeling, you will create it for yourself. I'd like you again to just take a moment and listen to the ambient sounds around you. Just allow them to remind you of how comfortable, how relaxed you feel. And know that if you needed to, you could be perfectly alert. But you could choose not to, and you could choose to stay relaxed and stay perfectly comfortable. That's good. Now I know that you're nice and relaxed, but in a moment I'm going to ask you to open and close your eyes again. And this time when you close your eyes, you find yourself feeling twice as relaxed, twice as comfortable, twice as deep. So now I'd like you to open your eyes and close your eyes. Deeper down. Deeper down. That's good. And now, I'd like you to engage your imaginations for me. I'd like you to imagine a staircase heading down 10 steps. At the bottom of the staircase there is a door. I want you to use your imagination to create this staircase. Create some detail. I'd like you to stand at the top. I want you to imagine yourself standing at the top of the staircase. At the bottom of this staircase is this world. Your world. The world that lives in your head. A place that is entirely of your creation. A place that is somewhere where you can feel yourself, feel comfortable, and feel free. And as we step down, you'll start to feel closer and closer. So I'd like you now to take the first step. Step 1. That's good. Nice and slowly. Deeper down. And now step 2. And just notice what your imagination can give you. So imagine this staircase as you head down, ever so slowly. And take another step down. Step 3. Starting to get deeper now. Nice and heading down. Heading slowly down. And now, take step 4. That's good. That's good. Do it really well. And step 5. Heading further down. You'll see that your imagination can create. And step 6. Most of the way down. further down, deeper down. That's step 8, almost all the way down. Step 9, heading further down, slowly further down. And now, finally, take step 10. And I want you to open the door, cross the threshold. I want you to find yourself somewhere comfortable, somewhere safe. You may find yourself somewhere warm. You may find yourself outside. The sun may be out. I want you to have a look around and explore this place that you've created. I want you to notice that there may be some running water nearby. I want you to notice how the colours look. I want you to pay attention now to the colours. The colours of this, your world. I want you to notice how happy you feel to be. This place, which is yours, which you have created for yourself. Just notice how happy you feel to have created this. And I want you to feel the textures. You can use your hand, you can use your paw, whatever you have. Feel the textures of this world around you. I want you to notice how good those textures feel. I want you to look around and explore it. I want you to explore this world in a way that makes you comfortable, in a way that makes you happy. I want you to notice how you feel curious, interested, engaged with what this world has to offer. Your world, the world you've created. And you can allow yourself to explore. And you can choose to listen to my words or not listen to my words. You can choose to explore this world completely in your own time and in your own way. I want you to notice those feelings. I want you to notice how it feels to find yourself in the body that you find yourself in. I want you to notice the combination of that body and this world and how that feels. And you can explore, maybe there's water, maybe you prefer the sun, maybe you prefer the shade, maybe you prefer a nice warm duvet. Whatever it is that you would like to feel, you would like to explore, I'd like you to do that. As you do that, I want you to find something that makes you happy. As you find that something that makes you happy, I want you to look at the colours. I want you to make those colours bright. I want you to make that happy feeling stronger. I want you to give yourself just a little flush of joy and notice that tingling sensation it gives you. Just a little flush. Now I want you to make those colours brighter again. I want you to allow yourself to feel that joy, that positive feeling, that tingling feeling, that happy feeling. I want you to know that this is a feeling that you can create any time you want, because this is you that is creating this. This is your imagination. This is your world. This is something that you have done for yourself. I want you to know that you can take this feeling with you. This isn't something that you need a hypnotist to help you enjoy. This is something that you can create. And if you like, the next time you look in a mirror, you can feel that joy and feel that happiness for what you have been able to bring yourself. And that feeling, knowing that you have made it here to this place and allowed yourself to feel this lovely, warm, positive feeling. I want you to be thankful for yourself and what you've been able to do for yourself. Because it's you who is able to do this. It's you who is able to create this feeling and this world. I'd like you now to explore a little further a little further beyond. As you explore, I want you to pay attention to the colours, pay attention to the feelings of the textures, the toes, and the paws, on your hands. I want you to pay attention to how it feels to be in this body you have created and in this world that you have created. And I'd like you to find a reflective surface. And this could be a mirror, or it could be some water. It's up to you. But I'd like you to find something. I'd like you to take this opportunity to look in that surface and see how you look. See how you look, feel how good it feels to be you. Feel how good it feels to be in that body. And again, I want you to make the colours bright and strong, and the feeling of happiness bright and strong. I want you to let yourself swim in it. Allow yourself to feel that joy. Make the colours bold. Just take a moment to take this feeling, knowing what this feels like, and this is something that you can take with you and notice how good that feels. That's good. That's good. That's good. Now I want you to use your imagination further. I want you to think of something that you wish to change, something that you wish to improve in your life, whatever that might be, something big or something small. And I want you to imagine a fork in the road ahead of you. And I want you to know that at the end of one of these roads is this thing that you would like to change, that you would like to be, that you would like to become, that you would like to have, whatever it is for you. At the end of one of these roads is that thing. And I want you to stand at the fork of the road, turn in the direction of the thing that you want, of the thing you would like to change. And I would like you to take the first step along that and feel how good that feels. Just take that first step. And I want you to notice how the path to your goals is not something that you have or don't have. It's something that will change one step at a time, and notice how good it feels just to feel that, to take that first step and feel that feeling. And I want you to know that this is something that you can choose to do. You might choose to do it here at Confuzzled, you might choose to do it at home, you might choose to keep it private, you might choose to tell everybody. It's entirely up to you. But you know what that first step might be, and this is a first step that you can take, and you can allow yourself to make this change in you whenever you want. I'll just give you a moment now to just explore your world a little further. Just explore your world a little further, because shortly I'm going to be counting from 5. As I count up from 5, you'll slowly become more alert. So just take some time to explore these last few moments, to know that you can take this feeling with you, you can enjoy it any time of your choosing, because this is something that you can do for yourself whenever you like. So just take a moment to have a look around and enjoy this world. Okay, I'm now going to count from 5. And as I count up, you'll start to feel yourself slowly more alert. So 5, and very slowly, just starting to become more alert and awakening. And 4, and maybe now you can start to feel a little bit of feeling in your toes and your fingertips as you slowly become more alert. And 3, feeling good, feeling positive, and just coming back into the world. 2, and you can feel your body now, and maybe you'll feel like you need a stretch as you open your eyes, and I say 1. Now open your eyes. Well done. Have a little stretch if you need to. Take your time. Maya, can we put the lights back up, please? Thank you. Well done, everyone. Right, there's water. Okay, so hopefully you all will have experienced different things. There are no right and wrong answers. It is not a magic pill. Those of you that have done this before will probably have found that you're able to relax more completely and have a more vivid experience. Those of you who are trying it for the first time, who knows? It could have been anywhere along the spectrum. There is no correct way of enjoying hypnosis. There's no right or wrong. There's no better or worse. It's something that you can create for yourself. And if you're interested, it is definitely something that you'll be able to explore further. It is just guided meditation. For those of you that have been hypnotised before, I've been hypnotised more than anyone on the planet, for sure, as part of my training. It's how you learn to get good at it. You practice on one another, basically, for like days at a time. And it is definitely something that you do get better at. And if you've done it before, you'll find that you'll find it pretty easy. If you've done meditation, you've probably got a fair bit of familiarity, you know where you're going. But hopefully you've had a nice positive experience. And what we're going to do now is we're going to use the magic of Nyan Cat. Not right now, but shortly. I'll give you a heads up there, Maya. So Nyan Cat's going to come along and help us. And what we're going to do is we're going to cure someone in the audience who has a phobia. Does anyone have a phobia that would like it cured?
Yes, please, yes, please. I have a phobia.
Come on, can you tell me what your phobia is?
Sickness.
Sickness. Can you tell me more about that?
I'm sort of really terrified of the idea of either throwing up or other people doing it in front of me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, come on up. Okay, this is really common. You know this is really common, don't you? Yeah, grab a seat. This is a terrific example of a phobia. This is the fourth time I've done this, so you're in good hands. You, me, and Nyan Cat. Okay. It's a really common one. Phobias are things that people are scared of. Nobody likes throwing up. I'm sorry to talk about this because I know that this is difficult to talk about. So thank you for coming up. I know that this is unpleasant, but it's also short-lived and good. Very shortly you will be able to remember what it was like to have a phobia. Because the news is that you'll always be a little bit scared, because everyone's kind of a little bit scared. People out here who have got phobias, we'll all know what the common ones are. We all know the sorts of things, and these are things which are, essentially that we're evolved to see in a negative light. And sickness is, of course, one of those things, because sickness at its worst is life-threatening. It is unpleasant. It's unpleasant for everyone. The good news is for you, it's going to continue to be unpleasant. It's not going to go away. But you're not going to have a phobia. The difference between a phobia and like a normal fear is that a phobia changes your behaviour in a negative way. It's usually anxiety, but you'll know, and I can see that you're uncomfortable here just me talking about it, but it's okay, because I'm here. That's fine, we know where we're going. We've got Nyan Cat coming any moment now. The different people tend not to, they've got a phobia, is that they get to the point where, so they've got something they don't like, and then they get to the point where they don't like thinking about the thing, and they don't like thinking about the thing, and they don't like thinking about the thing. It becomes this huge sort of death spiral of like negative emotions, where random things that are somehow connected in this little chain of events that lead down to the thing that you've got the phobia of, can all of a sudden be associated with it because you spend so much time trying not to think about it, that it comes at you and it surprises you. And I know that coming up here is a brave thing to do, because it means that you had to tell us what your phobia is. But the good news is that pretty shortly you will be someone who will be able to talk about phobias in a healthy, experienced, knowledgeable fashion, but not have one yourself. That's the good news. The other good news is I'm going to need some volunteers to help me out. Yeah, can we get 3 people? Just feel free to volunteer yourselves, because I can't really see you that well under the lights. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Can I have one too? Come on, first suitor. Yes. Yeah. Oh no, come up. Yeah, please come up. I was just going to give my first suitor a hand. So there you go. It's quite a large step. Okay, you're fine. You've got no problems at all. So come around. So here's your treatment team. There is one more, but they come from the sound desk. Yeah, come on in. Why not? We've got 4. Even better. Okay, so I've got some props for you. Good, which is good news. Because we're all Nyan Cat. That's what's happening. That's the theme. Every single one of us. There are your Nyan Cats. Excellent. Good. I like that your shirt says the element of surprise as well, because it's very relevant to this. What on earth is going to happen? That's good. We're all going to do rhythmic gymnastics. These are all world-class rhythmic gymnasts. What we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to very gently and very quietly approach your phobia. Okay? Would you call it sickness or would you call it vomiting? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, all I'm going to ask you to do is just say that. Okay? Just the word. Okay? And when you say it, I just want you to just kind of, just let it in. Just a tiny little bit. And then when you let it in, we're going to play Nyan Cat, and these 4 people are going to run around you. And you're going to notice how it's impossible to concentrate on what you've just brought up. So what I'd like you to do is surround. In fact, do you think we can do a lap to start off with? Like, so create a circle, and make sure you all head in the same direction. Okay, well, so I want you down. As Nyan Cat, you only run when Nyan Cat is playing. Because, so please, take Nyan Cat seriously. Okay, so what we're going to do, do you want to do a practice run? Yeah? Okay, first Subi, so you're definitely the slowest. That's okay, so you go around, everyone follow the first Subi. If you need to overtake, that is totally fine. What I don't want you to do, sorry, I didn't get your name actually. Lapori. Excellent. I don't want you to touch Lapori. It's okay if she gets a bit of streamer. But, sorry, I've got your pronoun right there. I don't mind if they get a bit of streamer, but I don't want you to touch them. Okay? Right. So Maya, can we please all, so what you're going to do is, I want you to just say your phobia. I want you to let it in a little bit. And when you do it, Maya will play Nyan Cat, and you'll be surrounded by 4 Nyan Cats. Okay? If you want to think of them as Nyan Cat, that's up to you. Okay? When you're ready. Okay, good. Okay, that's a good start. How was that? Did you expect this was going to happen when you came here? Okay, so you now know the lay of the land. You'll know that having Nyan Cats. I like the swirling, although you had problems with the whole thing winding around your paw. You're very lacking elegance, the person. He may never be a world-class rhythmic gymnast. At least not in person. Okay, so anyway, sorry, even I'm being put off by the Nyan Cats. So we're going to do this again, okay? But this time, I want you to say it a little bit louder, a little bit stronger. I want you to go right up to the point where you're just a little bit uncomfortable, okay? You know what I'm talking about there? Yeah? So that's what I want you to do. I want you to say it just a little bit louder, a little bit stronger, and then the cats will do their thing. Okay? Feel free to... Well, you're a cat. You're an honorary cat. Honorary Nyan Cat. Nyan Wolf, you can call yourself Nyan Wolf. Okay. Excellent. There's no growling there. Anyway. So they're going to do their thing. When you say it, you should feel free to keep in mind that you're going to be Nyan Catted the second that you do. So let it in. The cats are coming. And the wolf. Okay. So whenever you're ready, whenever you're comfortable.
Vomiting.
Okay, that's good. Outstanding cat work. Well done, everyone. That's good. How was that? Are you feeling quite comfortable?
I'm sort of more weirded out.
Yep, good. That's fair enough. Everyone is really. I don't think anyone expects to see this. When was the last time that you were able to approach your phobia this directly? Can you remember? Yeah, okay. Yep. Yeah, that's it.
Sort of like, I suppose approaching it to me is just like reminding myself of it and trying to avoid it as
Yeah, okay. Right, well, this is something which you're no longer... You've got to remember what it's like to have to avoid it and have to consider it when you're making those sorts of decisions. Not that I'm endorsing irresponsible drinking, of course. I would never do such a thing. But you're going to be in a situation where you're not going to have to make those considerations. You'll, of course, think that having too many drinks will make you feel ill, but you will be as okay with that as the rest of us are, which is, you know, kind of okay. You know, to the hungover among us. So, again, what we want is we want it a little bit stronger. I want you to let it in a little bit further, okay? Because you can see that we're making progress. We're getting further. And you're quickly becoming someone who used to have a phobia. Okay? That's the direction that we're heading. That's where it's going to be. And so I want you, in that spirit, to be a little bit stronger, a little bit louder, and just let it in just a little bit more. And then we'll, you know, cats. And wolf. Okay, so when you're ready.
Vomiting.
That's brilliant. I love it. The addition of Diet Cat to this show has made it like so much better. Well done. Okay, so I saw that you broke out into a laugh about half a second after saying your deepest fear. So obviously that's going okay. Yeah. Yeah, and well, you know, it is and it will. And it's going to continue to do so. But it's clear to me that you can be a little bit more forceful and you can take more of a risk when you say what you're fearful of. And I want you to allow yourself to think about it as well. That's okay. And then the nyan cats and wolf. Nyan cats. I'm just going to call you nyan cats just for convenience. Imagine that I'm saying wolf. Okay? So I want you to let it in. I want you to allow yourself to imagine it a little bit. We've got a disgruntled giant wolf. Yeah, you're doing good work. You're changing someone's life here. Okay, wolf pride, etc. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go again now. So I want you to say a little bit braver. Allow yourself to think about it a little bit, and then the cats. Okay, so whenever you're ready. Thank you, Cats and Wolf. That was great. Well done. I know that was difficult for you, and you still did manage to keep a straight face. I know that that was not an easy thing to do. That was a very brave thing to do. You should be very proud of yourself. That's what someone who doesn't have a phobia is able to do, and it's great that you're able to do that. And you know what's coming next, and I'm going to ask you to take it a little bit further. Okay, but this time, I'm going to ask some more fursuiters. Is that okay? Yeah, maybe a fear of fursuiters and nyan cat, but that's a small price to pay. Can I have the other fursuiters, please? Yeah, there's a big step, so be careful. Excellent, thank you, Susan. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to ask the cats to take the inner run, because we don't want to lose the effect of the streamers. But first, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to come around the front. I'm just going to get some nyan cat dancing, like you're at a nyan cat themed rave, if you can manage that. So please come around to the front, because I want you in Lepori's eye line. Okay, so there are going to be fursuiters, there's going to be cats, there's going to be streamers, there may be a cat fursuit collision, who knows? Please come on in. Come on in. I know you're playing a dual role, aren't you? Yeah. Would you prefer to cat or fursuit? Fursuit. Okay. Can we have a new cat, please? A new cat. Yeah. Come on up. I'm going to take your cat streamer. You've been relieved of your cat duties. Here you go. Excellent. You know how this works. Yeah, we've all seen it. It's not complicated. Okay. So just give ourselves a gap here, because our crowd here wants to see this going. So this isn't easy. That's good. Yeah. So that's it in the light. So just slightly intimidating, isn't it? Sort of vaguely Blair Witch project. Okay, so once again, I want you to go even stronger than last time. I want you to allow yourself to imagine it. And I want you to say it stronger. I want the strength in which you say it to be a reflection of how much you're letting it in. Okay, we've made a huge step in the last one, and we're going to make another big step now. So take your time, and whenever you're ready, and then obviously, you know, cats and wolf and fursuits.
Vomiting.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Well done, that was great. How are you feeling? Other than confused, do you have any other adjectives for us? Yep.
But then, at the same time, I'm imagining throwing up and doing that and it's dancing to me. It's like, I don't know whether it's a fine line cat roast. It's like find specific music. It's like, I don't know, like the only way I know is that it works is if like some drunk person films out and then I'll know.
Well, I'm telling you that this feeling, this is actually what it feels like to not have a phobia, because vomiting is unpleasant, whether doing it, seeing it, imagining it. It's not a very nice thing. There's probably several members of the audience that aren't thrilled that I keep saying the word. Okay. Well, this is incredible what you're doing, because you know this is incredible, but the crowd knows, I can tell as well, I can see that you're, it's taking a lot of effort, but you're doing like an absolutely fantastic job. You know, you even got a round of applause, although that might have been the first series of the cats on the back. That's good. But this is what it feels like to not have a phobia. Is the change here is this is something which is going to continue to be unpleasant, but it no longer has to be something which controls your behaviour. This is something which you'll remember what it used to be like. Remember what it used to be like, but the fear and the idea of discomfort will be there, but these are much softer words than phobia. That anxiety will dissipate. All thanks to Nyan Cat and dancing. So what we're going to do, we're going to do 2 more, okay? I think that's about the right number. And this time, in the knowing that it's 2 more, I want you to go louder, stronger. I want you to project your voice towards the back of the room, because this is something which you're taking on with a bit of like ludicrous help, but you are still taking it on. And I want you again to just let it in a little bit further. What you did last time was absolutely fantastic. Let's go 1 step further. Okay, and then the cats and the wolf. Okay, so when you're ready, take your time. I'll tell you to think about the cats and you'll smile. Yeah. So whenever you're ready.
Vomiting.
Well done. Good job. That was excellent. I like that. I don't know if you noticed, but so the first who's got the old cat paws happening. It's a terrific move. Obviously, we're low on cats here, like actual cats, but it doesn't matter. They're getting into the spirit of things. Yeah, that's right. See, people can pretend. Okay, so we're going to do one more. I'm going to take your chair away, and I'd like you to stand up for me. So I'm just going to get this at the back. And also, is there someone in the audience that you would like up to help you celebrate this? Yeah, if you're going to name someone, otherwise we can name that.
Those 2 there.
Yeah, can you come up? Actually, I've got a task for one of you. Unfortunately, only one. Can one of you please throw this confetti at her? Okay, good. Yeah, as the cat. Excellent. Good. So at the end, so basically, I'll just tap you on the shoulder. So stand here. Would you join the fursuiters? Is that okay? Yeah. Excellent. In fact, come over. Actually, just come over here as well. See how your friend's going. How are you going? How are you feeling? You're doing brilliantly. You really are. This is it. You realise that after this is going to be something which no longer becomes such a big deal. It's that step towards it just being commonplace. You're going to remember what that was like. Obviously, you're going to remember this. You know, maybe you'll associate this with that. Oh no, it is. We've done this. We've got people that have been up here before. They're definitely in the right order, and this is something where it's going to change the way that it affects your life if it affects them at all. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one more, and this time I want it to be strong. I want you to let it in, and we're going to have extra long. And Mike, can we have extra loud cats as well, please? Yeah. And then the confetti, and that's how you know. Yeah. I actually have no idea how that confetti is going to burst. So it's like, I don't know if you're supposed to throw it at her and it explodes, or if you throw it above, or what I don't want it doing is sort of sailing to the other side. Oh no, yeah, I see you split it open. That's good. Yeah, good. Confetti expert. Okay, so this is it. Last time, when you're ready.
Vomiting.
Keep going, Cats, keep going. And well done. Thank you, everyone. Can you come and sit? Would you like to stay on here just for a moment? Yeah, come on join me over here on the other seat. Thanks, everyone. And can please, cats, help the fursuiters to not kill themselves. Thank you, everyone. A round of applause for our therapists. I've just got you here to say well done. That was absolutely terrific. That was an incredibly brave thing for someone in your position. I can see that, you know it. Other people can see it. You've done a fantastic job. Confuzzled 2016 and Diane Cat. So can we have a round of applause? I'll send you back to your seat. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, everyone, thanks. That's it. Yeah, I'm done for the show. Thank you so much for coming along, and thanks to everyone who, enthusiastically applauded and helped, and apologies to the stage crew for the whole confetti situation. Thanks very much, and I will see you here, I guess, next year. Before I go, I know lots of people are interested in hypnosis. I'm going to be around at the con, so if you see me keeping around, you can tell me about beard. I'll be basically at the bar. So yeah, feel free to come and say hello. Yeah, so thanks very much. Thanks for coming, guys.